Hey, what's up, guys? Today is April the 16th. It is Thursday. This is math class. All right, so hopefully at this time you've been able to work the 10 problems that I assigned you this week, 5 on Tuesday and 5 yesterday. And you're starting to grasp the steps, which is starting with dividing the bottom number into the top number. That's the really big first step. And then from there you add your decimal and your zero, and then work your basic division process so that you can figure out how to convert the fraction into the decimal. All right, so if you want supplemental help for that, I'm really encouraging you guys to go to mathantics.com and converting fractions into decimals. All right, the guy's got a really good website, and I think that he explains things really well, and he will help for you guys to have a better understanding of this process if you are struggling with it at this time. So after we work these 10 problems, or excuse me, these 5 problems from yesterday, and come up with those answers, then today's assignment is for you guys to go on to IXL. And once you're on IXL, I would like you to continue to work converting decimals to fractions, okay? Or excuse me, fractions to decimals, converting fractions to decimals, so that you reinforce what we've already learned this week and you have a pretty strong foundational understanding of what it is that we are trying to accomplish when we convert a fraction to a decimal. All right, so we're going to jump into checking the answers for the 5 problems that we assigned yesterday. And then after that, go ahead and jump on to IXL. And I'd like you guys to do 45 minutes. 45 minutes on IXL converting fractions into decimals, okay? That's all I got, so let's jump into those problems. All right, guys, so here are the 5 problems that I gave you guys yesterday. As we discussed, these problems are a little bit bigger than the ones I gave you Monday, but I feel confident that if you follow the steps, which is dividing the denominator into the numerator and adding your decimal and your zero, that you will be able to be successful in converting these fractions into decimals. So let's jump right into this first one, all right, which is 23 by 20, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide the denominator, 23, into the numerator, 20. What's the first problem that we have? Well, immediately we see that 23 is too big to go into 20. So we add our decimal and turn 20 into 200. Now we can work this problem like a regular division problem once we bring our decimal up, okay? 23 times 10 is 230, and that's too big. So 23 times 9 is 207, and that's still too big. But 23 times 8 is the number that we need, because that's as close as we can get to 200 without going over. 23 times 8 is 184. We're going to do our standard subtraction problem. Feel free to borrow if you'd like to. I'm just going to do the problem in my head. I know that 200 minus 184 gives me 16. So again, we have a new problem. 23 cannot go into 16. All right, so we're going to add our 0 and bring it down. All right, so 23 into 160. So how many times can that go in? 23 times 6, I believe, is what we need. Let me double check that. 23 times 6. Yeah, 23 times 6 gives us 138, which is as close as we can get without going over. Again, we're going to do our subtraction problem, and we're going to just borrow here. So 10 minus 8, which we subtracted, or so we borrowed from the 6, which made this a 10. So 10 minus 8 is 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. So we have 22. 23 cannot go into 22. So again, we're going to add another 0. We're going to bring it all the way down and turn it into 220. All right. So how many times can 23 go into 220? The answer is 9 times, because 9 times 23 is 207, which gives us 13 left over, because 220 minus 207 is 13. And that's where we're going to go ahead and stop, because As I told you guys before, as long as you can get the three numbers here, so as long as you can get, all three numbers of your decimal, then I'm satisfied with that answer. So we're going to say that 20 23rds is equivalent to the fraction 0.869. All right. And we can actually prove that by using a calculator really quick. So let's just do that. All right. So here we go. We're going to clear this calculator. Bring this over here. We'll clear it out. All right, clear. And what we're going to do is we're going to divide 20 by 23, and that gives us 0.869. 20 divided by 23 is 0.869. So that's how we know our answer is correct. All right, so let's do one more. All right, and the next one is 17. I'm actually going to just, so that we have room, we're going to do 17 divided by 26. All right. So what's the first thing we do? Our first step is we do 26 divided by 17. We divide the denominator into the numerator, right? Now, we can't put 26 into 17, so we're going to add our decimal and bring it up. And now we're going to figure out how many times 26 can go into 170. All right, so I'm going to guesstimate that 26 can go into 175 times, maybe. Let's try 6. 27 times 26 by 6. Yeah, 6 times. 6 times 26 gives us 156. All right, 170 minus 56. I'm just going to do that in my head really quick. Feel free to follow the steps like you normally would. That's going to give us 14. Okay, now we cannot put 26 into 14. So again, we're going to add the 0 and bring it down. Now, 26 into 140. How many times can it go? So 26, let's see, times 5, I believe. 26 times 5 gives us 130. Okay. 5 times 26 is 130. 130 minus 140 gives us 10. All right. We're going to add one more 0. 26 into 100. Well, I know that 26 times 4 is over 100. Okay, so I'm going to say 3. So 26 times 3. 26 times 3 equals 78. And that's actually where we're going to stop. All right. So 100 minus 78 gives us 22. All right. But 0.653 is the answer that we're looking for. So 1726 is 0.653. All right. And we can check that with our calculator. All right. So here we go. Let's check that. Clear. We're going to take 17 divided by 26, which gives us 0.653. Okay? And the rest of the answers that you guys have are right here. You have 16/25, which is 0.64. You have 24/30, which is 0.8. And you have 11/18, which is 6 with 0.61, and the 1 just keeps going on and on. So it's 0.61111. And we talked about any time that there's a repeating number, we put this little line over it to indicate that it never stops. One trick that you could have used with number 4 here is anytime you have two numbers that are both even, you could half them. So you could have made this number smaller by turning 24 into 12. because that's half of 24, and turning 30 into 15, and then worked from 12/15ths just to make it smaller. Either way, you still would have got the same fraction, which is 0.8, okay? The fraction doesn't change, or excuse me, the decimal doesn't change. Even if the fraction becomes smaller, the decimal stays the same. All right, guys? So what I want you guys to do is continue to practice your fractions in IXL, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right.